But there's three stories. Three stories, and they all involve being stuck somewhere. Stuck? Guys, come back.
There are three stories that we got to figure out what's the most frightening or weird scenario. Number one.
I think we're all going to disagree, to be honest.
And that's even better. Number one, did you hear about the astronauts that are stuck in outer space and they were told, yeah, you're going to be up there for a couple weeks, and now it turns out this is an ongoing story, but the latest is they'll be back in February 2025. NASA apparently very embarrassed by this because SpaceX is stepping in to help do the, quote, rescue mission.
Oof.
And when you think February,
Oh,
we joked about how people are rushing pumpkin spice lattes and Halloween decorations. February means Halloween,
happy Valentine's, puppy.
Thanksgiving, the holiday season, a full football, college, and pro season.
Man.
You miss a lot from now until February.
It was supposed to be an 8-day mission.
That sounds like a nightmare. That sounds frightening.
Honey,
Okay.
I know I said I'd be home by 10 p.m., honey, but, running a little late at the bar.
Did they get Prime and Peacock on the International Space Station? Can they stream games up there?
Spot, you joke about it, but I do wonder if the infrastructure is set up where they do you think they have some type of internet? They must for communication
Got that
purposes.
Starlink, no?
But what I'm saying,
absolutely.
if they got internet access and communication access up there, you don't think just to keep them from being stir crazy, they might have access to Netflix or some streaming stuff?
Even still, they're in
You'd
outer
imagine.
space, though. That just sounds so scary to me.
You think they could get Sirius XM just because the satellite's close by?
I don't know. Maybe. Hey, maybe they're listening. Hey!
Hey, what's up?
What's up? Stay safe.
Watch out for that asteroid.
Space
Whoa!
junk.
Whoa.
Now, there's another story. So that's story
Space
one.
junk.
People trapped in space.
Keep your space junk to yourself.
They're wearing their space pants in outer space. And they're not coming home until February.
But I got to finish that one by saying we're trying to decide which is the most frightening. They are astronauts, and they are no danger. So if you're an astronaut in outer space and you're just sort of waiting for a ride, essentially they're waiting for a ride.
You guys want
It's
to?
easy for you to say they're in no danger.
No, but I'm saying what is the most scary? They're astronauts stuck in outer space.
You guys
That's story one.
You guys want to join me on the biggest prank ever? We'll all get a bunch of ape suits, and when they come back to Earth, they'll think it's Planet of the Apes.
Let's do it.
Want to do it? Where do we get 8 billion ape suits?
I don't know.
Just kidding.
Be a great investment. So that's story one. Story two. On August 18th, riders at Six Flags Mexico.
Oh.
Ay caramba.
Ay,
Were
Dios
left
mío.
dangling midair.
Do they have the great Mexican scream machine? Because in Jersey, don't they have the great American scream machine?
They do, yeah. The great Mexican scream machine is legendary.
Yeah.
It's like that's what they play.
Yeah.
So at Six Flags Mexico, and I've been there, by the way. I have.
I'm sorry, what?
Yes.
When have you been to Six Flags Mexico?
When I was a little kid.
What?
I'm serious.
No, you're not.
How is that? One of those theme parks, I'm pretty sure it was that.
This isn't real.
Dude, you come and visit your little kid. They want to take you somewhere. Six Flags, senor. I didn't know. So they were on the ride,
Wouldn't it be Sace Flags down there?
Say it's for that.
and these riders were left dangling midair after a storm.
300 feet above the ground.
Yeah, after a storm caused the Sky Screamer ride to stall. So, all right, imagine, not only did you stall, but there's a storm coming. You're in a storm. So you're seeing these pictures, because people have their cell phones and everything.
Oh man!
It looks like they're in the eye of the storm.
In the swings,
Dangling.
the great. Everyone loves them at carnivals, at amusement parks. The swings that just go around like.
Yeah, but you're hearing the
Wasn't there
you're hearing the storm coming.
Wasn't there like a ride that got stuck where people got stuck upside
Yes.
down
Yeah.
happened, yeah.
for like 2 hours?
That's happened a few different times.
This just happened, all right? So that's story number 2.
Oof.
And again, you're 300 feet in the air. You don't know if you trust these guys. If there's a safety, like you said, that there's something peaceful about being in space. Maybe they just have to be rescued. Here, you're in a bit of a risky situation.
You're in a swing at Six Flags Mexico.
I'm half Mexican, right? And there's an old saying where you never trust a Mexican that says, es okay. So they're like, it's okay, it's okay. I'd be a little scared in that moment.
Do you get sick if you drink the rainwater?
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe Montezuma's revenge. So the riders in Mexico, story number 2.
All right, so stuck in outer space, stuck on a ride in a major storm.
And then story number 3 involves your Chargers.
Your Chargers.
Your Chargers.
Your Los Angeles
Los Angeles Chargers. Now, to my understanding, they're in an elevator. 15 people, including players and staff, including Justin Herbert. So big stars, players and staff. And they're just trapped in an elevator with no sort of understanding of when they're going to get saved. And I've been there, too. That's frightening. And then when you're in an elevator, too, you always have this once the thought gets in your brain, whether you're on the ride.
Oh, who are we eating first?
Whether you're in space, whether you're in an elevator. You're like, what? Yeah, you're the hot dog on the hamburger.
Yeah, who we killing first?
We're going to have roast rabbit. We're going to have roast rabbit.
No, I mean, there's been horror movies where people are stuck in an elevator and like, one must go. I mean, you are stuck in an elevator.
No, but once that thought of survival or, hey, what if this cable snaps?
What if it plunges?
What if it plunges? Like, once that thought gets in.
Can you just jump at the last second?
You could just, like,
opening sequence
panic
speed.
attack starts. Like, Danny G was telling us a story how he was trapped on a ride one time. And you said once that thought hit you, man, your heart started pounding.
Yeah, but then it was the teacups. Relax.
Magic, it was. I wish it was just the teacups. It was Magic Mountain, Valencia, California, and the Batman ride. That's one of the ones where your feet are dangling and the harness is into your chest.
Yeah, Danny's like, my tootsies got pins and needles.
So the ride had just ended, but as it's cruising back in, that's where it broke down. So all of us were just stuck for 25 minutes waiting for them to bring this ride back in, and you start having a panic attack. It's the worst.
Okay, now I've been stuck in an elevator before. I'll tell that story. But again, LA Chargers player staff and Justin Herbert rescued from a stuck elevator. A group of 15 people, including NFL players and staff, were
2
stuck.
hours. 2 hours.
Hot and packed elevator for 2 hours Friday at their hotel in downtown Dallas. The firefighters eventually had to come and pull each one out one by one through a narrow ceiling panel. So this was like a full-on rescue mission just to escape. Imagine that. That sucks. One time I was stuck in an elevator for, I mean, it was probably a half hour, but it felt like, 3 hours because I was stuck in an elevator with my ex at the time and a bunch of drunk botchagaloops, like a bunch of drunken dudes with cigars. It was a big Super Bowl party or event or something like that, and she got into a screaming match with these dudes, and they were all ready to kick my ass. And I'm trying to tell her, like, zip it, because I'm the one that's going to get beat up right now.
And then the elevator gets stuck?
And the elevator got stuck, and it was a nightmare, dude. So that happened to me one time. The ride thing, you know what's scary about the ride thing, too, is like, imagine you're the parent and your kids are up there. Oh, man, that's the worst. That's got to be the worst feeling ever. I'd rather be up there than have my kids stuck up there and then me dying inside.
You know when they put you into a roller coaster, it's always like one click too far into your chest or stomach.
Yeah.
And you're like, well, it's only a 1 minute ride. I can deal with it. I'm going to be right off this thing. But imagine being stuck for a half hour like that.
Yeah, you're always torn. You're like, is this a little loose?
Yeah.
And then you go one click too much. You're like, oh.
Now, I'm going with the ride because I just don't trust anybody, any Joe Dirt out there. I don't care what theme park you're at, what carnival, whatever level of safety they promise. That, to me, is scarier than the elevator. But the scariest of all to me is the outer space story. I don't know how Rich downplayed that. Being stuck in space all that time. How many days is that total? Until February? Dude, that's a nightmare. That is horrible. That's horrific. Even if there's a peaceful sense of they're just chilling, floating around in space.
It's one man and one woman. And I got to ask the obvious question.
Do they get it on?
Do they have to? Even if they're married, do you think they're like, well, we have
Their New Year's Eve plans definitely changed.
Space sex. Yeah, I know.
Space sex.
Yeah, that could be a
Yeah,
weird situation.
that's like a movie my dad has DVR'd on Cinemax. Oh, Richie.
Rich
First
found that
SpaceX.
under his dad's bed.
Then rescued by SpaceX.
I found the VHS in a big box on their dad's desk. The astronaut one,
That's
yes,
the scariest,
for a regular
dude. Come
for
on.
a regular person. Yes, they're probably just more annoyed. Like we're stuck in space. We're astronauts. But for us, yeah, space is scary as hell.
You ever done reverse astronaut? Never mind. Sorry.
The
I'm going home.
Thank you.
I
Thank you.
remember there was a. Do you remember this story? I might have dreamt this. If I did, tell me I've dreamt it. Because if you never heard this, do you remember people got stuck on a ride, but then like a swarm of bees came towards them? I feel like this is a story where
Bees!
No, there was a
They're
ride
tearing my flesh apart.
There was a ride that got stuck, and while they were stuck, they're like, "Yeah, there's a swarm of bees close by." Bees. I think stuck on a ride might be the one that scares me the most.
They were
In an
stuck on a
elevator-
ride. Hold on. They were stuck on a ride in the middle of a storm. That's what makes this even scarier.
Yeah, that's
you gotta
number
see
one.
the
Yeah.
pictures too. They can't see in front of them.
That's
So,
number one.
Yeah, like if you see the visual,
Was Glenn Powell there?
it's just straight up like a gray fog they're surrounded by. So they can't even see. From my understanding, they can't see anything.
Yeah, to me, the elevator, you're assuming like
And they're
all right,
just swinging around.
Y-
Ay, Dios mío!
I don't think there's many. I don't think there's. I don't think there's many stories of elevators like snapping. So it's usually like it got stuck. Someone has to come rescue. You have to climb out or pry the doors open. Firefighters come and save the day. That's not scary. Outer space for an astronaut is what they signed up for. They're not scared because they're not in danger. They just have to wait.
The elevator situation gets weird too because you're with all these
I'm
strange
just
people. It
Gonna
gets
say
hot,
that,
right?
Rich. You say that's not scary, but if you're claustrophobic,
Yeah, irritated. You get
That's-
real irritated.
yeah, that's
You
a
ever get
panic
stuck on a
attack
plane and then
slash
people-
heart attack territory.
Even when
You
you're
gotta go
stuck
to
on
the
a plane
bathroom.
for a long
Oh.
time, people start losing their cool.
Oh, yes.
You know,
Crazy.
like you start seeing like it's almost like a weird social
It's
experiment.
like Lord of the Flies.
It is. It's like Lord of the Flies because people start like really acting. What's the word? Like
A fool?
they start acting the fool for real.
That's
You're
like,
like, damn, man.
that's like a funny, like a dark SNL bit in the making where like they open the door and they've eaten someone. Like, sir, you were stuck in the elevator for 15 minutes. Like,
No, people start getting
Actually,
crazy.
was an SNL bit.
It's like your animal instincts start to emerge, and you start losing your cool, and you start freaking out. You're hot. You're there with 15 other people. You know, you start saying things you probably shouldn't be saying. Tempers start flaring. So again, those are the three stories. Which one is worse to you? The riders in Mexico, the riders in the storm. They're in the storm on the ride. The Chargers in the elevator for over 2 hours. And by the way, major rescue mission. It's not like, oh, we fixed it, and they were back on the main level.
And
they had to have firefighters pull them from that little panel.
And I'm reading here, Harbaugh was upset that the elevator wasn't big enough for his quarterback Herbert to work on his footwork for those 2 hours.
I heard. And the last story again, the astronauts that are stuck in space. That's the worst. Come on. But Rich is I like your take on it, but they're trained for that. They're used to that. I don't know. Maybe maybe one of those guys has a really pain in the ass wife, so he's pumped about it.
I got, honey, I'll be back in February. You said August. All right, no, I don't know what you want me to tell you.
Yeah, for all we know, that guy's loving it.
And he's stuck with a woman up there. I have a question for you. I'll give you one more little rub to this, and we'll move on.
Where's the craziest place you were stuck? Don't say L.A. traffic. That doesn't count. I know one, dude. I was stuck on the road to Hana, and there's only one little road.
Oh boy.
In Hawaii, and I was running out of gas. So I would be the idiot who made this even worse. So I'd be the guy stuck on that one road with like miles of cars behind me, stuck on that road because I had no gas. Dude, I was never more nervous ever driving because I'm like, I'm going to be stuck here.
I know
with
that road.
no
I've been on it a
gas.
couple times. It's scary to begin with.
Yeah, I was stuck there on the side. And then that nervous panic kicks in. Like, I hate this. This is the worst. I'm in the middle of nowhere, Hawaii.
The locals there zip around you and flip you off.
Oh, it's the worst. Scary because you're like,
Let me ask you this. I'll let me think about weirdest place I've been stuck, but I got to ask all of you, and I would love the feedback. Fox Sports Radio, CNR. Who would be the worst type of person to be stuck on the elevator with? If you're stuck for hours on an
my
elevator.
ex-wife.
Rich.
And I don't say that because she's my ex, because she was starting fights with everybody.
I'm saying,
Let's go. Let's play a game. Everyone go around.
what if it was a very like overreactive, like young female that was like, I'm going to go on TikTok for this whole thing. We're going on TikTok live. This is terrible. Would you, imagine if you're stuck with like a dramatic college kid that was like, we're going on Instagram live. This is terrible. Or what if it was, what if you got stuck with like an old person, like, don't be dying on me, old guy. We're on an elevator. Like, what would your nightmare person be?
Covino after he just ate a lot of cheese.
Yeah, that's bad.
I was going to say scent. That would be the worst thing, stuck in a
stinky
small space,
person?
like somebody that doesn't shower.
That's like the New York City subway. Up in there.
So the Chargers were in the news.
Then you ever stuck in a closed room with someone stinky for a couple hours?
You don't want that happening in your life.
I'm just asking.
Iowa Sam's like, what? I smell great.
I don't know.
Not you, Sam.
Not you, Sam.
So anyway, there's 3 stories. One involves the Chargers. You make the call.